Welcome to our barn, where we're smoking premium cigars, living the country life, and equipping ourselves with the tools necessary to stand up to the pressures of compromise and tolerance. This is Cigars in the Barn. But why don't we go ahead and start off telling us about you, about Echelon cigars, and anything that we can uh, do to learn more about you guys.
We're coming up to our 1 year anniversary. We launched April 23rd of last year, so we're still relatively new. And it's a very straightforward story, really. A buddy of mine that I served in Iraq with, we were both U.S. Army, came back in '08, went in the reserves together for a few years, and then we started smoking cigars, meeting up at a local lounge here in LA, just to kind of reminisce and keep contact. We met up like once a month, and just so we didn't lose contact, that sort of thing. And we just started complaining about our day jobs. It kind of sucked working for the man, and one thing led to another. We just threw out the idea, hey man, why don't we start our own company? And I was like, that's great. I'd love to be a business owner one day, but what are we going to do? At this point, go back a little more than 2 years ago, you have all these veteran-owned businesses that were just kind of popping up out of the woodwork. You had Black Rifle that came out, Warfighter, another great cigar company that's kind of paving the way for veteran-owned cigar companies, and there's many more as well. I don't even know how many T-shirt and apparel shops there are out there. Coffee, I mean, you name it. So we were like, what can we do that's just a little bit different? And we just looked down and we're like, wow, let's start a cigar line. And I looked at him, I said, are you nuts? You can't just, it's not like printing t-shirts. You can't just start a cigar line. It's not that easy, you know. But we spent about 18 months doing a little bit of research, making connections, just meeting the right people, just educating ourselves mainly on the industry, because there's so much to know, not just about the process of what goes into making a cigar, but all the different laws that are involved, federal, state, and whatnot. So it's been a good year and a half just educating ourselves and doing some research and networking and building the business plan. And April 23rd of last year, we just kind of went for it, filed the paperwork, and we've hit the ground running. So we've done really well, which is kind of surprising. We thought there'd be, like a build up and like a crawl before we walked, before we ran kind of thing. And we've actually come out the gate running. So we've been very fortunate.
Yeah, just looking at your website, I mean, it's put together so well, and I mean, it's very enticing to want to look through it, read the story, see how many cigars you guys have, and just you guys have done a great job just by looking at just that briefly, So
I appreciate it. Yeah, one of the fortunate things we're able to have is, we're working directly with another small business. So the factory we get our cigars from down in Nicaragua is a small family-owned factory. It's not one of the big guys. So we have the ability to play around a lot more with the different blends that we want, the different vitolas we want. As a matter of fact, I brought this just to show you guys. We had our Veteran Series, which is our Corojo blend. Up until this point, for a year, it's only been in two vitolas. We've had the Robusto and the Gordo, the 6x60. This just came in yesterday afternoon, not even 24 hours ago. So we have the Veteran Series in a Churchill now.
Oh, nice.
Just Beautiful. Because, especially on the East Coast, not so much here on the West Coast. Churchills aren't really big, but I know from the Midwest to the eastern part of the country, Churchills and Lanceros are doing really well. So we got a lot of feedback saying, "Hey, I love this Corojo, but can you make it in a Churchill?" And so, we took that feedback from our customers, and now we got a Churchill in our Veteran Series blend. So, we're able to do stuff like that with this family that I don't think we would be able to do with a larger company, only because when you do stuff like that, you got to order severe amount of minimum amounts. And being a boutique line and working with another small business, great family too, the Ruiz family, by the way, really caters to our needs. And if we have an idea, we just present it and done. So, yeah, it's been really, really good for us.
Yeah, we like to hear that too, because that's we've just started doing the interviews and getting into the help and try to promote a lot of the smaller companies, and especially ones like yours on the West Coast, because we're only about 40 miles away from you out here in Acton, California. So we're not too far away from you, but it's nice to be able to promote another smaller company that's up and coming, but also hearing that you're using a small family-owned company just to get your cigars rolled and put together. That's it again, it helps that full circle of trying to promote that small business and get people aware of that there's a lot more out there than just the big names. There's a lot of good quality premium cigars with small name cigar companies.
Right. Yeah, and exactly. And it's a win-win. You're helping two small businesses when you purchase a cigar from us, because they do employ their own employees down in Esteli. And they also have I didn't realize you guys were so close. Forgive my ignorance. I could have driven up there and done this interview.
We'll do that one.
We will.
Yeah, I'll bring some cigars. We'll achieve some and have a good time.
Yeah.
But they have a store. Marvin Ruiz, who's the owner of the company, started his own gig back in 2005, I believe. He used to be a master roller for a couple of the bigger factories down there in Nicaragua, Perdomo, one of them. So he opened up his own shop up in the Reno area. So his younger son now manages the factory down there in Nicaragua. His older son helps him out with his shop where he rolls some cigars too. That's another beautiful feature that we have for Echelon is if I want a certain Vitola and a different blend, he has the tobacco there in Nevada. And he actually did that for us with our new Habano C98 blend that we just launched. So I say, hey, man, we want a Habano. We tested out some samples, and he rolled them right there in Nevada, and we got them literally days later, so we didn't have to wait for them to get from Nicaragua because, it takes some time for the tobacco to go through customs and get shipped up there. So, yeah, you're not just buying from us, which is a small business. We like to market the veteran-owned as well because we do want to hit that veteran market because a lot of us veterans we want value out of our what we buy, not just quality but the value, and that's why I don't know if you when you were checking out our website, the price point of our cigars, we don't have a cigar except for the infused because that takes a little bit more work, but our cigars we don't have one that's over $10.
Yeah, $7.95, $8. I think is when I was looking, they were around that $8 range.
Yeah, Robustos are $8, Churchills are $9, Gordos are $10. So you're getting this good quality tobacco that's coming from not just Esteli, but also the infamous Jalapa Valley there in Nicaragua, which is very, very well known for their very good, rich volcanic soil tobaccos. Yep. And you're also getting it from a master roller who's worked for some of these big companies. So that's to go to your point, what you said a minute ago is there is some value in some really good quality in some of these boutique lines, not just Echelon, but a lot of them.
Yeah, absolutely. So why the name Echelon? Explain that to us a little bit.
So, funny thing is here, and I'm gonna bring in Warfighter again because we did kind of use them, and I'll go on record saying we did kind of use them as a blueprint for what we wanted to do because what they're doing works. They're very successful. And of course, if you want to be successful, you kind of mold yourself after someone who's successful, right? Mm-hmm. So we had a bunch of ideas that we threw together before we even knew that Warfighter existed. So we were going to come up with, we were going to use the whole military thing with naming our cigars after round calibers and things like that. Stuff they were already doing that we were totally ignorant to because, again, we didn't even know they existed. I remember Google searching for them. I couldn't even find them. When I was trying to look for some ideas. And once we found out that they existed, they've been around since 2014, 2015-ish, we're like, man, everything we just came up with that we thought were original ideas in our head, we can't use because they're already doing it. Last thing we want to do is look like a knockoff, right? Yeah. So we wanted to kind of switch our marketing, and my background is in PR and marketing, by the way, so this is kind of my forte. So my wife, who's also a co-owner of the company, and my other buddy, who's also the other co-owner, we came together. And I was like, I want something to market not just to veterans. That was our original idea, but I also want to market not just to the enlisted or officer veteran, but also to the CEO down in Irvine or Newport Beach or up in the Silicon Valley area. I want to hit both markets. So I wanted to come up with a name that had military background and significance to, but wasn't just really in your face, we're Army guys, So Echelon has a severe significance in military formations going all the way back to the Roman days, which it's still used in infantry maneuvers. Being prior MP and infantry myself, and my other co-owners infantry, Echelon is, you're used to that name because it's a formation. And so it touches on that military significance. It has that military background, but it's not so much we're in your face, military guys. So it has that nice yin to the yang to it.
So how many blends do you guys have? And can you explain what the differences are between them? I did a little bit of my own research, but just for our listeners as well, explain what the difference is and why you chose those different blends.
So part of the double entendre of why I chose Echelon as the name is we also have the echelon of the different blends that we go up to. So from mild up to full bodied. Come to find out, we don't really have a true full bodied cigar. At first, before my palate started really evolving, I thought our Corojo was going to end up being our full bodied, which is why it's named the Veteran Series. But starting off with the Enlisted Series, again, it's entry level, right? As you are as an enlisted person in the military. It's our mild blend. So we have the filler and binder both from Nicaragua, and then we use a Connecticut shade straight from the U.S. So it's very mild, but it has a lot of flavor. So it's, as we say on the website, it's definitely not your normal mild stick. A lot of mild sticks that we've had, and we've smoked plenty of them, and I'm sure you fellas have too, that they're just they're bland.
Right.
And that's okay because, they're perfect for people who maybe don't smoke too many cigars or are new to smoking cigars. So they need something to start off with. And the last thing you want to do is hit them hard, like with one of those ultra rich, full bodied,
Right.
like most of your Man of Wars or, a lot of AJ blends are full bodied. So that's the last thing you want to do. So that's kind of what we came up with for the Enlisted Series, and then going up to the Officer Series, which is our Maduro line, which is very rich. But the blends that Marvin uses is I think the guy's a genius in his own right, because you have that full flavored Maduro taste to it. You get your and I'm not one of these guys that really likes to break down the flavors and talk about chocolate and earthy tones and all that. To me, the cigar, either it's good or it sucks. That's just kind of my take on cigars. But, I also like to go off what other people taste. I take that seriously as well. So, we've gotten feedback that, hey, there is notes of chocolate and cocoa, but without the try to use my words carefully, without that full body flavor you usually get from a dark Maduro like ours. The blends that Marvin does really kind of yields back that powerness that you get in a traditional Maduro. So it's a little bit more on the medium side. It's not full bodied. Looking at it, you can see the dark texture, the dark oily leaf that we use. And the first thing that's going to come to mind is, man, this must be full body. This is going to, start giving me the jitters. But it really doesn't. I haven't had one person come back and say, man, I got the tobacco jitters from smoking this. And it's very much more on the medium side. So you get that flavor, but without the strength. Nice. And then our third and final, well, I don't want to say final. We just introduced the Habano C98, which is a Criollo leaf coming from the Jalapa Valley that Marvin uses. And this thing is my new favorite. I'm a little bit biased, but the Corojo, the Veteran Series, was my favorite up until Marvin and I started working on this blend. And I've never been a real spicy guy, but it's just got, to me, the perfect touch of spice with flavor in this C98. And a lot of people don't market. There's a reason why I'm choosing to market the C98. It's the type of leaf, a lot of people who aren't educated with the type of leaves that are used when growing tobacco and using them for, binders and fillers and wrappers. C98 is the technical term, as Marvin is explaining it to me, for this leaf that's being used. So I really want to hit that. Because it is a special leaf, and that is part of our Officer Series. So yeah, you have two different choices for the Officer, and they're both medium. They're, like I said, we don't have a full body cigar, but very, very flavorful. And it kind of, I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this when you're smoking a cigar, but you do that inhale, and then you get the initial taste of the tobacco, and then on the back end, you get a little sweetness. I've never had that before I smoked this C98. And that's why I initially fell in love with it. And I said, Marvin, we're using this blend. This has got to be ours. And then finally, we have the Corojo blend, which is our veteran series. So what we initially thought was going to be more full-bodied ended up kind of being a little bit more medium. But that Corojo leaf is just flawless, and it's gorgeous. And we call it our flagship stick because it's our bestseller, and it's the perfect blend of flavor and strength without being overbearing. We have gotten some negative feedback that we don't carry any full body blends. We do have those hardcore smokers who do want the richness and full bodied stuff, and can't please everybody. So yeah, that's kind of the 4 blends that we got. And then we got the infused line, which is something we were playing around with, which ended up, we weren't expecting it to do much, but contrary to a lot of hardcore smokers out there, the infused line does really well. There's a lot of people around the country who love them some infused cigars. Now, they're not flavored, so I have to educate a lot of people on that. Yeah, they're not flavored cigars. They're infused for 30 days. So we have a cognac, a whiskey, and they're premium labels. Obviously, we don't have a partnership with any of them, so we don't want to give out names, but they are premium labeled liquors. And we also have a proprietary blend that we call a cremoso, which is a blend of Italian cream, honey, and rum. So there's as many people out there that knock infused and flavored cigars. It's actually doing really well for us. So
I did a blog post about that on trying to get beginner smokers to be okay with who they are as beginner smokers. And one of the things is don't let someone tell you what you like, and don't let someone tell you what you're not supposed to like, or that flavored cigars are bad or infused cigars are bad. If you like it, smoke it. There's a huge market for infused cigars out there. I mean, you got Alec Bradley. They have a huge line of infused. CAO has a huge line of infused. They sell them. So why not sell something that's going to sell? Why not make it for those people that really want it? There's nothing bad about liking and enjoying an infused cigar.
And that's what I got too, is Acid has made how many millions off their line. I mean, Cuba is one of the most popular infused cigars out there. As long as there's a market for it, we're going to make it. And like I said, we weren't expecting it to do well. We kind of did it as a test run. But then we even have our first retail store up in NorCal. They bought the infused to sell in their store more than they did the other lines. So they must have a good customer base of those who want those infused. And the beautiful thing about ours is again, not going away from the flavor, they're infused. They're not overbearing. You can still taste the tobacco. We use our Corojo blend for the infused line, not the Connecticut blend that a lot of other people use for infusement. So you still get the richness. You can still taste the tobacco. It's just a hint of the infusement that you can tell it's there, and it just adds a little something extra to your palate. I love the cremoso. I'm not so much of the whiskey and cognac. It's a little too much for me. But there's still plenty of people out there, and I agree with you. If you like it, smoke it.
Exactly. Yep. That's all cigar smoking is about, is enjoying every experience that you have, enjoying all of it. So yeah, there's nothing negative about enjoying an infused cigar or having an infused cigar on your line. Yeah, that's a smart business move in my opinion. What do you guys recommend we drink when we're smoking your stuff? I mean, eventually we're definitely going to order some stuff from you guys. We definitely want to do reviews. We want to get your guys' name out there. But what do you recommend? What do you normally drink with what you smoke?
I'm more of a craft beer guy myself. I'm not really a whiskey or a bourbon. I do have some. I also like to, purchase and support other veteran-owned businesses. So we do have some Freedom whiskey. We do have some Murica bourbon here in the cabinet here in my house. So, most of the time, especially with the Corojo, the darker stuff, I see a lot of people pairing it with the darker drinks, either like a stout if they're drinking beer, or maybe an amber or a dark draft. It's kind of, I guess, it goes along the same things from, I'm not a big wine drinker, but I guess, your lighter meat you pair with lighter wines, your darker meat you pair with red wines, that kind of thing. That's kind of what I've seen people do, because we've done plenty of pairing events at breweries and different event centers here around Southern California. And that's just kind of what I've picked up on. I really don't like to recommend one thing or another, because if I'm not educated enough in something, I'm not going to pretend to even go there. But what I can tell you is I do enjoy a good draft beer, and I love going to a lot of, especially these veteran-owned breweries. to not just support them, but also to try out their different takes on their drafts with our cigars. So, for example, our enlisted series, our Connecticut blend, goes great with, let's say, like a Blue Moon or a Shock Top, or one of those wheat-based beers. And then our Maduro, our Officer Series line, perfect with coffee. I just had one the other day. I never thought I'd be the type to smoke a cigar in the morning. I've never been a morning smoker. It's always been an evening event for me, or maybe in mid-afternoon, that kind of thing. But the Maduro, I kept hearing it from my customers. You got to try. They were all thought I was nuts because I never had my own Maduro with coffee. But I had to take their advice, because the most important feedback you can get is from your customers. Mm-hmm. And the worst thing you can do as a business owner is pretend to know everything. So what we do is we take the feedback from our customers to just continuously improve. And so that's what I did, is I took the many positive feedbacks that we got about our Maduros with coffee, and I had one the other day for the first time, and it blew my mind on just how well they paired.
Nice. Very good. Very good. How many cigars do you have in stock right now? If we tell our viewers to order some stuff from you, how do they do that? Through the website, I'm assuming, is the most common way to do that. But how many cigars do you have, or how can we get some cigars out there to some people?
We just got our fresh our run from Nicaragua yesterday, as I mentioned, so we're stocked. And that's the beautiful part about working with Ruiz Cigars, is whenever I want some, Marvin's going to get it to me quickly. So we just stocked up yesterday. Our very popular Ultimate Gordo sampler went out of stock the last sale we had not too long ago. People scooped those up. And I don't blame them, because with that sampler, I don't know if you saw the price, but it's about $6 a stick for a Gordo. Yeah. I don't know how you can beat that unless you go on Cigar Bit or something like that and get those kind of sticks. But the sampler has just been doing really well for us. So yeah, we're fully stocked. Yeah, the best way is to go to the website. We're starting to work hard on getting some retail partners here, not just here in the Southern California area, but also around the country. We just got our distributor license about a month ago. So up until that point, we were simply direct to customer, doing it from our website, doing events. We've done golf tournaments. We had some scheduled for this spring and the summer. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. We've partnered with Bovida, so we have an official partner account with them now. But yes, the website is the best place to get the cigars right now. And I would do it now because we don't want to ship orders from our warehouse forever. We definitely want to go more towards distribution and start supporting the brick and mortar stores. It's a lot of work fulfilling orders through e-commerce. And if we can start getting some more retail partners, that would help. So we already got one. We got our first one, which is usually the hardest. So hopefully if we start getting more here in California that are willing to work with us, I know the tobacco tax is something no one wants to talk about, but we definitely want to work with them and start getting them in the stores so we can stop doing this mail order stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's got to be hard. I mean, it puts a lot more strain on you, especially to get it out that way.
Well, you know what? The thing is as busy as we are and as well as we're doing, us three owners, my wife, myself, and my other business partner, we all still have our 9-to-5s. Yeah. So we run Echelon in the evenings, on the weekends, which takes up most of our free time. So I work in PR and marketing. My other co-owner works in robotics here in Los Angeles, and my wife's in the airline industry. So we all still have our 9-to-5. The goal is to hopefully get out of that racket soon. Things go the way they are, we'll get there. But it is a lot of work to try and fulfill orders. And, it's what's the saying? It's a good problem to have.
Yes, that's right.
But at the end of the day, the lifeline of this industry is the brick and mortar shops. It is the lounges, because as much as we all like to smoke at home in the comfort of our house or our porch or backyard or what have you, the social nature of what you get when going to a lounge and the camaraderie you have when you go to those brick and mortars, and developing a relationship with those shop owners and with the other people who attend those lounges is something you just can't get at home.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Having that networking, those conversations. I mean, it's one thing if you have a group of people together with you at your home having a conversation. It's another thing when you're by yourself just smoking a cigar. But it adds a little flavor to it, I guess you could say, when you have a good conversation with a bunch of people, and you're getting to know a lot of good people too at the same time. So it's a good experience.
Absolutely. Just in the short time that we've been doing this company, almost a year now, we've met so many people and built so many relationships that are really irreplaceable. It's the type of relationships you just don't get outside of cigar smoking. It's completely different. I'm sure you guys understand what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
As you say, it adds another level to it, because you it's not just about smoke. We all smoke cigars to relax. We all smoke cigars to kind of clear our mind and reflect and do all that. I know I do. I always like the occasional cigar by myself to just kind of collect my thoughts and reflect. But then you also have the conversations that happen when you get around other cigar smokers that are unlike any others. Especially when you get around veterans and alcohol is involved, and it gets kind of interesting sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. It's a whole different thing. We were talking with our wives about it the other day, and just it's the people that we've been able to meet in this short period of time of being able to interview, people like you, and that are really out there working hard, again, wearing multiple different hats to do different things, and just getting it's a different. The cigar network is a different network of people. Everything from someone who is, a businessman, hardcore businessman, to veterans, law enforcement officers, firefighters. We just talked to a firefighter from FDNY a couple of days ago, who runs a cigar company, and it's a different mentality that people who smoke cigars that have that same understanding. It's more easier to talk to, laid back. It's just you almost connect with them right away, and it's kind of nice when you have that, because you can have good conversations and not have to worry about anything.
The biggest barrier you usually have when starting a conversation with someone is just finding some common ground.
Mm-hmm.
It's finding something, and when you're with cigars, it's already there.
Yep.
So that part's already out of the way. You already have a love for cigars,
Right.
and then usually the next thing is, hey, what are you drinking with that?
Right.
And then it just kind of snowballs from there, and it's just so easy.
Yeah, it's really neat. It's a different experience. If anybody has never experienced it, I totally encourage them to do it, because you really get to find a different avenue of yourself sometimes when you have those conversations. So it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So besides obviously talking with you today, anything like that, what else can we do to maybe support you guys and help get that name out there more?
Really, at this point, it's just word of mouth, and just kind of getting the word out there that you know Echelon does offer good premium cigars at what you would expect to pay, at other places. So it's not, we're not trying to be a competitor, even though the inherent nature is of having our own line is we are going to be competing against other brands. I don't really like to look at it that way, because you don't ever come across a cigar smoker that is loyal to one brand.
Mm-hmm.
At least I haven't, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more of just adding another option that's on the table, another tool that's on the belt. We've done a little bit of marketing, and the bad thing about this is, and it kind of sucks for me because, like I said, I come from a PR marketing background, is all the restrictions to be able to market with tobacco really handcuff us. So as a boutique line, the best way to do it is just share on social media. That's the most powerful weapon we have right now to get the word out there about our brand. And word of mouth. We do a lot of events, like I said, especially just in the past year. That helps as well. But social media, Instagram seems to be the hot ticket right now. Facebook isn't really doing so well for us. And I hear the same from other company owners as well. But that's pretty much the best way to get the word out there is just social media, word of mouth. And then also asking your brick and mortar owners, say, hey, I checked out these cigars from Echelon. You might want to think about carrying them. That will help us out as well. And we also like to give back too, even though we've only been going at it a year or not even a year. We've already donated cigars and also gift packs to different charities that help with veteran organizations. So most companies will like to be established for a while, build up some capital before they start doing stuff like that. Just me being, we're 100% veteran, not just a veteran owned, but 100% veteran owned company. So we will always have that soft spot for nonprofits and charities that assist with giving back to veterans. So I did that, and I set aside some of our initial capital to give back already right out the gate, and it had nothing to do with getting our name out there. It had everything to do with, what, I think this is a good cause. I'm able to do something. So if I can, um, give you something to auction off to help you build money for your NPO or something, then I'm going to do that. So when you buy a cigar from Echelon, you're not just helping out a small business and a veteran-owned business, but you're also helping us to provide give back to other organizations as well. And we're also a partner of Cigars for Warriors. So I'm not sure if you saw that on our website that we do have, and we price them just above cost, $5. And then what we do is we just randomly take a different blend in a different vitola and add it to our box for Cigars for Warriors. So you can't beat a $5 donation cigar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great to hear that you guys are doing that. I mean, that's I think a lot of businesses, like you said, wait a long time to do stuff like that. But you guys, it sounds like you're doing a lot just to help and give back right now. So we do appreciate that, for everyone that's benefiting from it. But also we appreciate your guys' service. We know that your wife and your buddy, took time and several years, not just a couple of years, but several years, almost 10 years plus, I think, for some of you to provide your service in the military. So we want to say thank you for doing that for this country, because that's what it's all about. We have the greatest country in the world. So we appreciate what you guys have done to protect this country.
Yeah, we do appreciate that. We appreciate your support. And again, that's why we like giving back, because, we're all out now. We did our time. And, the best thing we can do as business owners is to give back to those we pass the torch on that are currently serving in whatever capacity they're serving.
Yeah, definitely. One last thing is there any type of maybe promotional code we can give our listeners if they order from Echelon Cigars? Is there anything that we can do to help maybe push them more towards Echelon and try to get more out there for them?
Yeah, we do have a welcome code, which is welcome.
Okay.
That's good for 20% off your first order.
Okay. Perfect.
That does not work on our current samplers, though. Our samplers are extremely low priced. We can't really mark them down any more than they are right now, because again, they're down to like $5-6 a stick. We're barely making any money off that. So, my initial business plan was the first 12 to 18 months to be in our marketing phase, which is why our prices are where they're at. Because again, we're not looking to get rich. We're looking to get the word out. We're looking to build the brand. So yeah, if they use welcome, that'll give them 20% off their entire order, off anything other than sampler packs. So any boxes, which I did have a couple I want to show you before so we have our 10 count Robusto box, which comes in all different blends. So we have the Robustos in our enlisted, veteran, and 2 officer series sticks. So you can get that. And then we just added this to the website. This was going to be reserved for our wholesale clients and retail partners, but we have our nice 18 count Gordo boxes.
Beautiful.
Nice.
That we can get that are, again, when you get the box, you're getting them at a low per stick price. So that 20% these boxes, this Gordo box for 18 count of Gordos is only $149. And that welcome code for 20% off will work on this.
Okay.
So do the math. Yeah, that's we're almost giving them away at that price.
Yeah.
But like I said, we're not trying to get rich. We're just trying to build the brand, get the word out there, and then if we're doing the things we're supposed to be doing, the money will come. That's kind of secondary. But we just want to have a good, successful base, and we're always running sales too. Mm-hmm. So that's not going to make any retailers happy. But again, once we start getting those retailers, you're going to start seeing the sales and the discount codes start to disappear, because we do want to support them. We want to drive people in those areas to go to their shops to buy from them. So, but until then, we're gonna run our sales, and use code welcome for 20% off the entire order. That includes accessories. We got some good travel cases. We partnered with Seahorse, who makes a good customized case that holds up to 10 cigars. It's waterproof, weatherproof. We even had one story from one of our customers who took his case out to Havasu and was jet skiing. He was going from his boat to his house in Havasu. He fell off his jet ski and was bobbing in the river there for probably a good 5-6 minutes. Went and retrieved it as his cigars were bone dry.
Nice.
So yeah, that was some good feedback we had from those cases. So yeah, we have some good affordable lighters, cutters, everything you need to get started, as well as our great cigars.
Awesome. That's great. Well, thanks for all the information, and thanks for taking the time to talk to us. We really appreciate it, Nolan, and we wish you guys the best of luck, and hopefully we can catch back up with you maybe in a month or two and see how things are going. And then one thing that Chip and I are working on too, well, it's kind of hard now with this whole COVID-19 situation, but we're going to be approaching a lot of the different areas out here that sell cigars and try to talk to shop owners and see if we can use that opportunity, these interviews, to maybe push them, get some of those cigars in their shops.
Yeah, that would be awesome. But I forgive me, I didn't realize, for some reason I thought you guys were like in the Midwest or whatnot.
Hey, that works.
But
Arizona, huh?
I didn't realize you guys were so close. So yeah, as soon as this whole lockdown stuff lifts up, let's definitely get together and burn one, because you guys are just a hop, skip, and a jump from Orange County.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. We'd love to, and it'd be great to sit down and have a glass and smoke a stick with you guys and just get to know you a little bit more. And then that way we can let our listeners know too. And I think that's a big part of when people buy things, they want to know who they're buying from. And, when you get a good backstory of who they are, what they represent, it changes everything. I mean, at least for me personally, if I know somebody and I know their story, I'm more prone to buy from them because I want to support them. So yeah, that sounds like a great idea. We'd love to.
All right, consider it done. Cigars on me.
You got it. Thanks, Nolan. Appreciate it. And again, thank you for your time. We look forward to talking to you again soon.
All right, gentlemen. Appreciate you having me on, and stay safe out there, huh?
You too. Thanks, Nolan.
Right, bye-bye.
Bye.